So, just to run through the agenda for this afternoon, we're going to cover for the next hour talking about driving traffic to your website, okay, and all the various different strategies you can use to help drive traffic to your website. Then we're going to talk about social media, okay, and I'm going to try and allow as much time as I possibly can to cover this because it seems to be quite a sort of a vibrant conversation, and I want you all to get as much out of it as you can. So we'll have a tea break. Then we'll talk about cloud, and then we'll just do the feedback forms, and you can all go home. Hurrah! Okay, so driving traffic to your website. So I've already shown you this diagram, haven't I, with some various different strategies. We've talked a little bit about email, and we're going to talk a bit about search engine marketing, and of course social media this afternoon and offline stuff. But of course there are so many other things that you can do. So we can talk about Google AdWords. So somebody just mentioned, are we going to talk about Google Ads? Yes, we absolutely are. Google AdWords are the ads you see when you run a Google search or any search engine search. It's not just Google, if you're using Bing. You'll see them as well. That are normally the top three. The ones on the side, which I understand they're actually going to get rid of now. They're just going to ditch them. Apparently nobody clicks on them. And you'll see them running along the bottom of the page. And they've normally got, they used to be a yellow box, but now they've got a little yellow ad sign next to them. The reason they're not in yellow boxes anymore is because people's screen resolutions, trading standards said it's not clear enough in the yellow box for some screens that it's an ad or it's not an ad. Pay-per-click has the highest return on investment over any other form of digital marketing. So that's worth knowing. If it is set up properly, that's one thing I will say. Yes, Google AdWords works on a bidding system. It's extremely complicated. I'm not going to stand here and bore you with that now, especially straight after lunch. A couple of words of advice. Number one, make sure you understand what you're doing when you set it up, because if you don't, you can burn through cash extremely quickly. I worked with a company who I kept saying, you need to do PPC, you need to do it. The MD turned around and went, well, I know what I'm doing with that, and I'm going to set it up. And so he set it up, and he spent £3,000 in a day because he didn't know what he was doing. So always be very aware of what you're doing, and if you are slightly unsure, please speak to somebody that does know what they're doing. Even if you just pay for them to set it up for you, and then you just monitor it from there, is a good place to start. Because I see it so many times where you set something up, you don't get the returns that you want from it, you never use it again. But it is a fantastic tool, so it's very, very well worth using, and part of a good marketing strategy will always work.
Is there any sort of online module that you can do?
Absolutely. If you so desire, you can become certified through Google. You get a workbook that is in excess of 500 pages long, and you have to sit 3 exams, and you have to get a 98 or 97% pass rate to get that certification, if you so desire. If not, there are lots of online tutorials actually. I think Linda Tutorials actually have got some stuff on pay-per-click, and they'll just sort of guide you around how to use it. One thing to be very, very sure of as well as part of any search engine marketing is that you genuinely understand the keywords that people are searching. Okay? There's so many times I think I see, oh yeah, we've done our keyword research. Oh, fantastic, brilliant. So what are your keywords then? And they tell you, and you suddenly realise, no, none of your audience use those keywords because they don't know what that means, particularly if it's something that's technical. So, understanding the keywords and how that all works is really, really important. There are tools out there that can help you do that, but you do have to pay a subscription for them. So there's one that's called SEM Rush, which we'll talk about later on, that you can use to look at your keywords. And interestingly enough, you can also see what your competitors are up to in terms of pay-per-click through SEM Rush as well. So if they are running a PPC campaign, you can see all the keywords that they
SEM?
SEM, yes.
Rush.
Search Engine Marketing Rush. Yeah. And so you can see what your competitors are up to if you so desire. The beauty of Google AdWords is that it is a very quick turnaround. So as soon as the campaign goes live and you've done it properly and all the rest of it, you will start seeing clicks straight away. Of course, it works the other way. As soon as you turn it off, that will stop. But you are completely in control of where your ads appear, when they appear, and the keywords that they appear for in various different ways. You can have callbacks and all the rest of it. And I would just embrace it. There is always a risk that somebody is going to click on your ads when they see it, but they can't sit there and repeatedly click on it and waste your whole budget. Google won't allow that. Google will see that. It's almost like spam clicking, if you like. So that's not going to be allowed. And to be perfectly honest, if your competition are going to sit there on Google all day clicking on your ads, then really are they your competition? Because that's very sad, really. Sometimes people will do it, yes, absolutely, but I don't think it's a huge concern. It's not going to eat up all your budget. And if it does, then maybe you need to think about doing some other keywords, perhaps. So yes, pay-per-click ads are fantastic. There is also something that you can do, which I think I'll talk about in a minute. So let's just say you manage to write 2 blog posts a month. So 2 sets of 500 words. And that can be one thing about a product that you really like and another thing that could be a case study. Okay, let's just do that for the time being. So you've now got 2 fresh bits of content that go onto your website. Wonderful. Google goes, yummy, yummy, thanks very much, love up-to-date fresh content. So that's great, so that's going to help with your organic listing. And then you think at the end of the month, I need to send an email out. What am I going to put in that email? I wrote 2 blog posts. I can put them in the email. Oh, I need to update my Twitter. What am I going to talk about on my Twitter? Just written 2 blogs. I can share those. Okay? So all of a sudden you've created this content that you can use so many times over. Yeah? So you're just making your life so much easier by just talking about it. And just 500 words. That's all we're looking for. For the blog to have any impact on your social media and actually on your website in general, the blog has to live on your website. You can't have a website and then an external blog. The 2 are too separate for that, so it has to be on your site.
Doesn't have to be on my page, does it?
No. As long as mine sits in my.
Integrated in the
Yeah. So it just sits on my.
But then only people that log onto your site will see it, surely.
No, because you're then going to email them. We're going to put it on
Oh,
social media.
Right,
We're
okay.
going to.
Well, when you say that you're going to put it on social media, you have to duplicate the message.
No, you then take your blog. Okay, I also have a bit of a litmus test for the quality of my blog. Okay, and my rule is, and this is just my rule, so don't go crying to the CIM and saying, well, you said you could do this. But if you can't get 10 decent tweets out of one blog, it's boring and you need to start again. If you can't get 10 out of it, then there's something fundamentally wrong. So if you just go through it and you just pick little highlights out, okay, and we might ask a question, for example, if you're talking about Twitter, you might ask a question about something and then put the link to the blog. It's kind of like the carrot on the stick thing. You're just dangling the carrot and you want them to click through to read more because you've only got a certain amount of characters. Having a blog is really important, and if you can't get 10 decent tweets or 10 decent social media messages out of it, then it's a bit dry. You might want to consider writing something again or adding to it. You might also consider writing serious bits of content like white papers. Yeah? White papers in particular are really good content for data exchange. So if you're trying to build up your email marketing list, for argument's sake, what you could do, okay, it says how you integrate them all, is you could go, right, okay, I'm going to run a campaign, say I'm going to do a marketing strategy white paper, okay, and that's what I'm going to publish. I'm going to run an AdWords campaign covering marketing strategy, marketing plan, how can I write a marketing plan, all this, that and the other. Okay, and set up a landing page, and on that landing page will be a bit of stuff about, the white paper itself, and a form to say, click here to download. We've all done this, yeah? We've all done something similar to this, where you give me your data, and I'll give you the white paper. Okay, that's great. You've got your white paper, you're quite happy. I've got your email address, I'm even happier. Yeah, so I can then move on and market to you moving forward, providing, obviously, you've got the right terms and conditions. Okay, so that's how you could use a white paper as a great bit of data exchange.
Can you just explain what
Okay. So, as far as I understand it, and this is not the Oxford Dictionary version of what a white paper is, but a white paper is it's a longer piece of content. Okay, so you've got a blog, which is traditionally 500 words, but it's a more in-depth piece of content as part of a specialist field or service. Okay, so it's very specific, like my marketing strategy.
Where was that sit?
That was it on your website, or depending on, if you're not expecting hundreds of thousands of people to be emailing you for your white paper, what you could do is ask for their email address and then email them back with a white paper as an attachment. Quite a nice way of an opener, but of course that doesn't work if you're getting hundreds of these things a day.
So what's better, a blog or a white paper?
Both, you need to be considering both. Always do a blog, everybody should have a blog, and then for certain things it would be great to do use white
probably
papers.
don't search websites enough, so you have blog on your sort of list of content.
Absolutely.
And do you have another content label saying white paper?
Well, you could do if you wanted to, but what I would use white papers for is my objective for most white papers will be some form of data exchange or some form of
So
objective
if I
to.
went onto your website, where would I know where to find your white paper?
You wouldn't. It would be a campaign in itself. So I would say, right, I'm going to do a campaign for So I want to get new business, and I do a teaser campaign and say, I'm offering everybody this white paper, all the rest of it. You give me your details, I can then market you and talk to you and do that. I don't want to give it away for free.
An advert on your website.
On Google, it would probably, and through social media and stuff. So yeah, we go out wide. I wouldn't necessarily. Once I'm finished with it, I'll probably put it on my website. But to start with, it's got to have value. Yeah, that's the important thing about the white paper. Is it's got to have the value in order to get that data exchange.
But wouldn't it be on your website anyway, so that you're driving the traffic through onto it? So if you're doing a campaign,
Not in a white paper. It exists not for that.
Indirectly driving traffic to your website.
I am.
Because you're gaining their email address, you're then sending them out a mail shot or whatever it may be, and then they click on that link to then go to your website.
so what would it? So in what form will that be then? A PDF?
Yes, it would be a PDF download. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you could either do it, like I say, where I get an email to say you've requested the white paper and I'll email it back to you, or when you've given me your data, you just hit download and it downloads. Yes. So the white paper thing is really generally for value and for some form of exchange. Yeah. So always consider that that's probably your objective for that type of piece, because it takes a lot of work to put together a decent white paper. Okay, so always make sure that you've got a clear objective for it and you know what you want in return. Don't just give it away willy-nilly, okay, because it's worth something.
So, I'm sorry, just as a face pushing it. So if you have your white paper, and how do you make sure that it's high up on?
Okay, so I wouldn't worry about getting that ranking. I would just set up an AdWords campaign. So I would pay for it to appear in the ads at the top. Yeah? So, because I need it to work quicker than that. This is instant, this takes time. Alright? So the next thing is PR. I have to say PR is one thing that I think is a great tool, a great marketing tool, but I am not in the slightest bit interested in it. It's not something that we offer actually at Marketing Fox, but it is a great tool, and if you can utilise PR for whatever it is, whether you're doing something in the local area or you're working with somebody that's of high interest, or you've done a job for Grand Designs that appeared on Grand Designs, anything like that, then tell people about it. What I will say is that the reason I think I don't like PR is it can be quite fluffy, and it can be a little bit, oh, we'll just do that piece, and somebody might see it and we can tell all of our friends that we've got a piece in the East Anglia Daily Times, and nothing ever comes of it. And I think that's perhaps where I fall out of love with it a little bit, because I'm quite a hard numbers sort of person. So I always have an objective for it, whatever it is. I work with a charity, and PR is fantastic for us. Okay, so to get donations and funds raised and people involved in fund runs, all that sort of stuff, it's great. So always have a clear objective with your PR, because also it can be quite expensive as well, placing things. And a lot of magazines will say, oh yes, you can have some editorial providing you buy an ad and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you've got a clear budget set for it. Remarketing. Does anybody know what I mean by remarketing? Okay, so remarketing is, I go onto the Kurt Geiger website and I see a pair of shoes. I think, I need these shoes, I need to have these shoes right now. And I get to the checkout and I go, no, don't be ridiculous. You don't need another pair of shoes. And I come away from it. And I go on Facebook and there are the shoes. And I go on another website and there are the shoes. Okay, that's remarketing. Okay, and done properly, it is an extremely elegant way of getting your brand out there. Done wrong, it is incredibly intrusive and can damage your brand really badly. Okay? And there are filters on here, and you do it again, you do all your remarketing through your AdWords account, so it's not like a separate account. You can set up your remarketing from there, and you can choose how long the cookie stays live on the site and how often they're going to see the ads and all the rest of it. But remarketing is extremely clever. But the other thing that is slightly frustrating is, like I said, researching something for your friends, and then all of a sudden you get loads of ads for cat food, and I don't have a cat, and all I was doing was looking at something that my friend had sent me, or whatever it is.
Can you get rid of it?
You can set your ad preferences in your browser. You can set your ad preferences in there, but be aware if you do that, you might stop them all. Okay, so, alright then, that's really interesting, because lots of people have this feeling of like, no, get rid of the ads, get rid of them. Okay, what we're trying to do as marketeers and as marketing people is provide you with a better service online. Now you might see it as you're constantly being sold at, and people that are doing it badly are constantly selling at you, and we know that, we get that every day. You go networking, you think, oh my god, stay away from that utility warehouse man, he's going to try and flog me some electricity or something. But all we're trying to do is make your experience online better. So if you tell us what you want to see, you take the time to fill in your email preferences, for example, rather than unsubscribing, we will deliver you the content that you want, okay? Because you've told us that. That is all we're working off, information that we have been given. So for example, Tesco Club Card, yeah? You might find you go in, you buy certain things, and then one day again, you know, your mum asks you to pick up some cat food, you buy cat food, and then you get an email about cat food from Tesco. You think, oh, for God's sakes, they don't know me at all, and all the rest of it. You just go in there and take the 30 seconds it is to update your email preferences and say, I don't have a cat. You will no longer receive cat food. It's quite simple. You'll no longer receive emails about cat food. Yeah? So I would strongly suggest it, and I know I'm a bit biased because it's what I do every single day. But if you want a good experience online and you want to see the right things and receive the right emails, just tell us what do you want, and that's what you
I think
should
a lot
get.
of it is ignorance, that it's that simple to change things.
Yes. Yes.
Because people want things to be immediate. And if they know this much about me, then they know I don't have a cat. No, they don't. You bought cat food.
Exactly.
What was it for?
You didn't eat it, so you know.
The badger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
need more then.
So yeah, it is about doing that. I mean, of course, if you don't want to see the ads, don't see the ads, and that's not a problem. But sort of don't hate the ads because they're only telling us what you give them. I used to hate networking. I just used to think it was just so awkward. And I used to walk into this room, and particularly at chamber events, you know, Chamber of Commerce, and it would be a room of sort of accountants and solicitors that had been friends for years and all this, that and the other. It was like a lunch party, and trying to go up to speak to them, it was quite daunting for me. But I have found a great networking group, and I'm sure you guys have as well. I'm a member of 4N, it's the only networking that I do. And once you're in, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Whatever group you're a member of, you can utilise it and go with very clear objectives, again, as to what you want to get out of it. And, you know, often it's worth looking at the people in the room and deciding beforehand who you want to talk to, rather than just getting stuck with somebody that pins you in a corner and I just don't care about that, just leave me alone. And it's like a little limpet on you all day. Then, you know, you can get a lot out of it, and it's well worth using. Yeah, driving traffic and building rapport and all of that sort of thing. Reviews, we've touched on TripAdvisor, yeah, but you can do Google reviews. If you've got, you know, your company Google Plus page, set up some reviews and ask people to review you. That works extremely well, for lots of different reasons. Firstly, we love a review. We think it's great. And it's amazing how we can have 10,000 great reviews and one bad one, and all of a sudden we go, oh, I'm not sure about that company anymore. What is that? It's only one plant of negativity. We're like, oh, I'm not sure.
You mean eBay?
Yeah, absolutely. But they are really great, and they're fantastic if you've got them on Google reviews for your search engine optimization, for your organic rankings as well. Google loves itself. So if you can constantly keep updating things that Google has, or Google owns, or Google likes, then, you know, you're all right in their eyes. So reviews are fantastic. QR codes, they look a bit dated now, don't they, QR codes? Has anybody ever used a QR code? Not for your business, but for other things, yeah?
We use them within the force because motorcyclist helmets, they put them on. And
Yeah.
it puts all your ICE details on there, your emergency contact details.
That's a great idea.
If somebody's lying at the roadside and you've got a QR reader, you can scan their helmet, it tells you who they are, who the next
Fantastic.
of kin are, and all that
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
I've never heard of that, but that's absolutely fantastic.
Massive thing. It's
Yeah.
$9.99 for the sticker for them to put it on there.
Yeah, that's a really good. Actually, my other passport on those back might get student.
Really good collector too.
Where would you get the stickers from?
Pardon?
Where would you get the stickers from?
I guess you just order it online. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
give
I
them all the
can't remember
data,
the
then
actual thing, but you
they
can
put it
just
all
type in
on.
a search on
Yeah.
Google.
It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and that's really nice actually. Often when I talk about QR codes, people go, oh, well, load of crap, it was such a stupid idea. But they're not, I think they're great.
Free as well.
Yeah. And you can generate one, and you can use it for really clever things, okay? So for example, I used to work with a guy who made QR codes. It was like his marketing. He was really trying to push it. And he did a thing with Waitrose, where you go into Waitrose and you pick up your bag of fresh tagliatelle, and it's got a QR code on the back. And you go home, and you think, oh, what am I going to cook tonight? And you scan it, and it gives you a recipe for spaghetti bolognese. Okay, and then you decide, actually, do you know what, I don't fancy spag bowl, we're going to go out, which is normally what I do, it's sort of just go out. But you come back to it on Wednesday and you scan it again, it will give you carbonara. So yeah, the QR code, the message behind it will change, so you can run a campaign on it. Really, really clever. Also had it with a painter and decorator on the back of his van. He says, scan this QR code for a deal. And he would change the deals based on where he was or anything like that, so you could get a voucher or something like that. Really good incentive to swap it. So use cleverly, use smartly, and providing your audience understand what they are, they're great. I mean, they're
Where
really
would you
good.
get a scanner from,
Problem,
mate?
sorry.
Oh, well.
That is a lot of the problem with QR codes. People have no idea how
People
to
don't know
use
what
them or what for.
I have to say, when I
I don't
first...
want a banner, it's going past, oh, it's going.
Well,
Yeah.
the first thing I thought when I saw a QR code is, what is that? So I googled it. I was like, what is this weird box thing? And it was, you know, curiosity got the better of me on that one. But again, it's down to your audience. If you educate your audience, maybe do a teaser campaign to say, look, we're going to start doing a QR campaign, so download your reader and you can get some deals, then yeah, fine. You've got to do the legwork there. You can't just release it and go, there you go, kids, see what happens, because of course nothing will happen. And then video. Who's got a video? Yeah? A couple of you? Brilliant. Video is fantastic content. Absolutely fantastic. Again, done properly, it's fantastic. We've all seen those videos with this monotone man standing there. Oh my god, it's so boring. But a nice short, sharp video, an intro video, for example, into what you do, it's fantastic. It's a really nice warm opener. And we like watching videos because guess what? We're too lazy to read. Now we just don't, we can't be bothered. So if we can digest it quickly, then that's great. Even better if you put that video on YouTube, because Google owns YouTube, and there we go. And the power of video, video tends to naturally rank higher for certain search terms than actual listings. So for example, my other half has got a Kawasaki motorbike, something broke on it. You can tell how interested I was at the time, something broke. So he got on Google and searched for it, and the first thing that came up was a video of a guy in his garage fixing this problem. And Kawasaki were nowhere to be seen because it was just videos, like home videos. So it shows the power of video over certain search terms. It's not going to happen for everybody, unfortunately, but it can really, really boost it. So that's great. So I would strongly suggest everybody talk about video. So easy to track and monitor response rates, engagement rates, click-throughs, opens, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah? It's so, so easy. And that's why I think, you know, traditional advertising is fantastic, but it is a little bit like, unless you're constantly asking, oh, where did you see us, how do you know us, da 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 da, there's always an element of drop-through of response. You're never really quite sure exactly how well it's done. Whereas with digital, you know exactly, because you've got a lovely graph, and you can see right in front of you what the return has been. Okay, so the first thing you must always remember is, if you're, okay, classic one is you're at a trade show, and somebody's got a fishbowl, and you've got an opportunity to win this hamper if you put your business card in. Yeah? You put your business card in, and then you trundle off, and then next day you say, oh, sorry, you didn't win. But here you go, here's a load of information about us, and we're going to send you an email every single week now, because you've given us your details. If on that fishbowl it said somewhere, by entering this competition, you'll therefore be opting into our marketing. If you wish not to, then you need to check this box or whatever, then that's fine. If nothing like that was on that fishbowl, they are breaking data protection. You have not given them permission to use your email address. Okay, it's a real bugbear of mine actually. Meeting people, networking is lovely. You shake their hand and all the rest of it, and that's fine, and I'm quite happy to test them. But I don't then want to receive 10 emails about their next seminar. Like, it's not necessary, you know. It can actually be quite damaging to a brand, I think, to receive those sorts. So always make sure that there's an opt-in. You know, so on your website you've got your terms and conditions and all of that sort of thing. So be very vigilant about that. The second thing you must do is always provide somebody with an unsubscribe mechanism. So they must always be able to unsubscribe. Interestingly enough, I get some emails from Australia, and they don't have that policy out there. There is no unsubscribe mechanism on any of their emails, so it's literally impossible to unsubscribe from them.
So you can't reply to...
No, they're all no replies at. So it's, I'm just stuck receiving these emails. I just check them in my spam now. But you know, you have to in the UK, in Europe, offer an unsubscribe mechanism. Okay. That's it in terms of law, really. The biggest law is the data protection law. Okay, so you have to store it in a secure place. You have to have an up-to-date terms and conditions policy, and tell people where their data is stored if they ask for it. They need to be able to have access to that. exactly the same way as you're storing anybody else's data. You need to understand all of that. And that's why using a piece of software like MailChimp or Campaign Monitor is so useful, because it's all there, it's all done for you, and it's all looked after. Somebody unsubscribes, they unsubscribe. That's it. So the first thing is email marketing. Okay, this has the second highest return on investment of digital marketing for B2B. I'll clarify that, I know that for B2B. For B2B, okay? So done well, you can get really, really good results from this. But what I will caveat that with is, going back to my website, I'm going to keep banging that website drum, is if your email looks good, okay, you've signed it up, you've got a nice template, it's really fresh, it's great, and then they go to your website and your website is appalling, okay, it's not going to work for you. Okay, so unless that website is looking really good and working really well and there's a lovely user journey and all the rest of it, then everything else you chuck at it is just going to fall over, or potentially going to fall over. But email marketing is fantastic, cost effective, brilliant form of business development and marketing. Search engine optimization. Most people will have this as part of the strategy. Whether or not you really go for it and pay a monthly amount for somebody to work on your search engine optimization for you, or you just do some blogging and some social media and just run it yourself, you're still doing that, and it's still something that desperately needs to be nurtured, okay? And that is something that needs to be looked at every month, okay? So take a look at your rankings and that sort of thing. PPC, I think it should be part of everybody's marketing strategy, not necessarily all the time, but if you're running, if you get particularly busy before Christmas, or if there's a particular show, for example, that you guys might do.
PPC.
Pay-per-click, sorry, the AdWords, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the AdWords, if you're going to a particular event, or you've got an event coming up, or you are pushing a particular product, anything like that, turn up the PPC, yeah? Just turn it up for various different campaigns, give it a go and see how you get on. But get somebody to set it up for you, please don't spend £3 grand in a day. That would be horrendous.
So once it's set up then, it's quite easy for anyone
You
to
can go in
use.
and all you need to do is just monitor it. It's just a daily monitoring process. And tweaking, you can tweak little things, that's fine. But yeah, I would strongly suggest just get somebody to set it up for you, belt and braces it. Because also, again, I probably shouldn't say this, but also, if something was to go wrong and you ended up spending £3 grand, and you said, well, hold on a minute, you were to set this up and my limit was £20 a day, you've got a bit of backup, got a bit of insurance there, rather than you setting out and going, oh, God, I've got to pay it now. Blogging, everybody should have a blog and everybody should be writing blog posts. Please try and write at least one a month, okay? We're talking maybe an hour on a Friday afternoon, just sit there and tap out a blog about something that's interesting to you, or something that's industry-wide or anything like that. It'd be fantastic, and it will create so much content and make the rest of your job so much easier. PR, I know I've kind of semi-poo-pooed it, but I think it should be part of most people's marketing strategy, certainly for brand awareness and certainly for specific events and that sort of thing. It's also, I know it sounds silly and it's a bit shallow to say this, but I think we could probably all agree, it's really nice to have something in the paper that your competition are going to see. Like, it's just quite nice to go, yeah, you know what, that's us. That's us there, we won that award or whatever it is. And then, of course, finally, social media, which we are going to move on to in just a tick. As I said, I think at the very beginning, the internet, and particularly social media, is 98% full of rubbish. And 80% of that rubbish is regurgitated rubbish. So the first thing you need to do is create engaging content. And of course, the only way you're going to know how to do that is to understand your audience and what is engaging to them. It's not what's interesting to you. So many times I read articles and I think, God, the MD's written this. It's not written for me, it's written for the MD. Brand authenticity, okay? Make sure that your brand is solid, people can trust it, people understand what it is that you do, get a good feel from the brand, okay? Because when we're talking digitally, that's all we've really got to go on, yeah? Imagery. The use of imagery is really important, but please make sure it's good imagery, okay? I don't like to see blurry iPhone photos or poorly lit selfies or a photo of your office in the snow. I mean, that's not engaging content to me, it's not important. So always make sure that it's relevant, okay? And if you can't take the image yourself, get on iStock or something like that and go and buy one.
Get on what?
It's iStock
Or
or Shutterstock, it's really good.
Free pick.
Free pick, yeah. Getty's just desperately expensive, that's the only problem with Getty. But what you can often find is what's on Getty you'll get on Shutterstock or somewhere else. But yeah, use a stock image, find one, instead of using a rubbish one. Hashtags, we're going to talk about them in more detail. Okay, some of you pulling faces at me already, you're going to love this next one. So consider the hashtags that you're using and understand what they are, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Video, think about doing a video, okay? It's really great content, it doesn't have to be expensive. There are people out there that can create amazing animations for a couple of £100, you know, and they'll provide the voiceover and it's fantastic. So it doesn't have to be, you know, real people, it can be an animation. I don't actually. One of my clients uses them. I'll get it over to you. Be consistent with your updates. Don't start a blog and then not blog. Okay, that's really frustrating. And I have to say, I put my hand up and say that I was guilty of that. I started a blog. I started writing a blog every month, and then of course life happens, and I'm running a business, and I'm so busy doing other people's marketing that I forget to do my own. And it's really frustrating as a business owner because you beast yourself about it. You think, oh my God, I know I need to be writing these blogs. But also, you know, you look back over your history and people that are looking at your blog and you think, it doesn't look great, does it? So my last blog was in September 2012. I mean, it's not ideal. So, you know, try and keep it up to date, and it's the same with your social media.